Is this a good time to buy real estate? Is now the time to jump in and get out there and buy real estate? You hear a lot of people say that they've been storing up the dry powder, stacking the powder, waiting to deploy, waiting for a downturn. And so is this the time? Is this what everybody's been waiting for? I don't think so. So now this is April, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, somewhere around there. I'm losing track of the days. But we are in the middle of April 2020. And the reason I say now is not the time, because this is not the downturn that everybody's thinking of, like we saw in 2009 when properties lost half of their value and the real estate market collapsed. You know, back then there was a problem in the real estate market. The housing market, real estate market was already in trouble before the banks started collapsing and we started having issues. So that was a very different environment, very different climate. Right now, what's going on is the economy was doing fine, things were doing good. We were maxed out, we were at a peak. So it was inevitable that we were going to see a little bit of decline in prices and demand and things like that. And it was interest rate driven and it was lending driven. So we were at a peak, and it's more important to know the top than the bottom. I always say that. You want to be able to call the top than the bottom. And when cap rates were compressed like they were, when housing values were at, levels higher than they had been in the last 10 years, and interest rates are at all-time lows, what you got to understand is the rates can only go so low. So once you reach the floor, once you reach the bottom in rates, and your values are at peaks, well, there's nowhere to go but down at that point. So you want to make sure that you understand where the top of the market is. So back to whether or not right now is the time to buy. Again, this is a very different thing than 2009. So we are not going to see a severe decline in housing prices across the board, or multifamily properties, or other types of real estate that do well in this environment. There is a lot of distress in the hotel industry, retail industry, office sector, but a lot of those, other than hotels, retail and offices were already somewhat declining before this happened. So this is going to amplify that. Now that is assuming we can get through this here, get treatments and vaccinations and treatments and all that going. There's news out today that there may be a treatment that Gilead has stumbled upon. So if we can get through this thing here in the next 30, 45 days, then that's a different story. We'll be getting back to things, but it's still going to take 12 to 18 months for the economy to get back to where it was, put everybody back to work. The other thing is, if we can't get through this and this thing draws out another 4, 5, 6 months, that's a different story. And there's only so much the government can do in a situation like that. So a lot of this depends on how long it takes. But what I'm saying is, this is not right now, as of today, the opportunity of a lifetime that everybody's been waiting on to buy property, where you see massive declines in values. There's going to be some opportunities and some distressed situations in short-term rentals, in retail, in office, some multifamily, things like that. But it's not going to be like it was 2009, where the entire real estate market collapsed. So be smart, keep your eyes out there, and be ready to strike when the deal presents itself and when the opportunity is right. But right now, it is not peak time to be out there. Again, it's area by area, asset by asset, but it's not widespread across the board like it was in 2009. We are not there, and I don't think we're going to get there given the current environment and the path that we're on right now.